We've all heard it. Nuts are healthy. They're packed with good fats, fiber, protein, and they make for an easy, heart-healthy snack. But what if I told you that some of the most common nuts could actually be harming your body after 60, causing more inflammation than protection, disrupting your hormones, interfering with sleep, even promoting weight gain, despite being marketed as metabolism boosters? This is the paradox of nutrition and aging. The foods that once worked for your body in your 30s or 40s don't always work the same after 60. The physiology changes, hormones shift, metabolism slows, inflammation becomes more persistent, and the way your body responds to specific nutrients or anti-nutrients becomes far more sensitive. Nuts are not inherently bad. But not all nuts are created equal. Some are high in unstable fats that oxidize quickly. Others are loaded with plant compounds like oxalates, lectins, or histamines that irritate the gut or stress the kidneys. And some are contaminated with mold toxins or roasted in low-quality industrial oils that promote systemic inflammation. Inflammation is the common denominator in nearly every disease of aging. Heart disease, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, dementia. And when we fuel it unknowingly, even with something as small as a handful of the wrong nuts every day, we create the conditions for chronic breakdown instead of repair. So the goal is not to fear nuts, but to get precise, to identify which nuts are sabotaging your energy, your hormones, and your long-term health, and which ones support resilience, cognitive sharpness, stable blood sugar, and cellular repair. In this video, I'll show you 4 nuts that every senior should avoid or drastically limit, and 4 that deserve a place in your diet every single week based on their fat profile, nutrient density, and biological impact on aging. But first, we need to understand why your body becomes more nut sensitive with age and why the wrong fat, even in a small serving, can have an amplified effect on inflammation, hormonal health, and metabolic stability. As we age, the metabolic machinery that once burned through excess calories, toxins, and inflammatory inputs with ease begins to slow. Mitochondria, the engines in every cell, produce less energy. Hormones like testosterone, estrogen, DHEA, and growth hormone decline. The gut lining thins. The liver's detox efficiency decreases. And one key system that suffers silently but critically is the fat processing system. Fats are not just calories, they're biological messengers. They shape the structure of your cell membranes, influence hormone production, regulate immune signals, and even impact gene expression. But here's the catch. Your body responds very differently to healthy fats like monounsaturated omega-9s from macadamia nuts than it does to omega-6s found in industrial seed oils or certain nuts in excess. After 60, this difference matters more than ever. Your cells are more vulnerable to oxidative stress, your hormone reserves are lower, your brain is more sensitive to inflammation, and your muscle and bone mass are more prone to breakdown. Every bite becomes a signal, one that either builds and stabilizes your system or destabilizes it further. Many nuts, especially when roasted in commercial oils or eaten in excess, are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While we do need some omega-6 in the diet, modern food environments have created a massive imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3, in some cases, ratios of 21 or higher. This fuels silent inflammation, increases risk of insulin resistance, and disrupts key hormones like leptin and cortisol. There's also the issue of nut anti-nutrients. Oxalates found in cashews, almonds, and peanuts can bind to calcium and magnesium, preventing their absorption and contributing to kidney stone risk or joint irritation. Lectins and phytates can impair digestion, especially in individuals with low stomach acid or leaky gut, both of which become more common with age. And then there are mold toxins or aflatoxins, particularly in peanuts. These compounds are not just carcinogenic, they also impair liver detox pathways, which are essential for clearing excess estrogen, balancing cortisol, and maintaining healthy testosterone levels in aging men and women. The truth is, after 60, your body demands higher quality fats, lower oxidative stress, and foods that reduce, not provoke, inflammation. The wrong nuts, even in small amounts, can keep you in a state of metabolic stagnation. But the right ones, they become daily medicine. They support cardiovascular function, improve brain resilience, protect hormone pathways, and offer antioxidant compounds that fight aging at the cellular level. Next, I'll show you the 4 nuts to avoid and why their reputation as healthy foods doesn't hold up under scientific scrutiny when you're over 60. So let's talk about the truth behind the nuts that most seniors believe are healthy. These nuts are marketed as clean, plant-based proteins. Some are in energy bars, some in trail mixes labeled heart healthy, and others are added into smoothies at upscale cafes. But the truth is, these 4 are silently working against your aging body, especially after 60. 1. Peanuts. Despite being the most popular nut in America, peanuts are not technically a nut. They're a legume, and they carry problems that go far beyond terminology. Peanuts are highly susceptible to mold contamination, especially aflatoxins. These mycotoxins are potent carcinogens that target the liver and suppress immune function. Seniors already experience a natural decline in liver detox efficiency, which means aflatoxins linger longer, increasing risk of inflammation, sluggishness, and long-term toxicity. Peanuts also tend to be roasted in inflammatory seed oils like cottonseed or soybean oil, and then salted heavily, a recipe for oxidative stress, sodium imbalance, and poor vascular health. And their high omega-6 content fuels an inflammatory cascade that quietly disrupts insulin, cortisol, and testosterone regulation. 2. Cashews. Cashews are often marketed as creamy, indulgent, and even good for your heart, but they come with baggage. They're high in oxalates, which can bind minerals in the gut, especially calcium and magnesium, making them harder to absorb. This can increase the risk of kidney stones, which are more common in aging adults and also interfere with electrolyte balance, critical for muscle function and cardiac health. Cashews are also one of the few nuts that often trigger histamine reactions, especially in individuals with sensitivities they may not even know they have. This can show up as joint pain, brain fog, or skin rashes, all of which are commonly misattributed to aging rather than food-driven inflammation. 3. Pine nuts. Exotic and expensive. Pine nuts sound healthy. They're part of pesto, found in gourmet recipes and praised for their vitamin E content. But pine nuts are extremely high in polyunsaturated fats, which oxidize rapidly. Once oxidized, these fats don't help. They harm cell membranes, stress the liver, and interfere with mitochondrial function. They're also known for a strange phenomenon called pine mouth, a lingering metallic taste that can last days after consumption, indicating neurochemical sensitivity in some individuals. And for what you're paying, pine nuts deliver far less nutritional bang than other better choices. 4. Flavored or roasted mixed nuts. These are perhaps the most deceptive. Found in hotel lobbies, airplane snacks, or even health food stores, they come in various flavors: honey glaze, smoky BBQ, dry roasted, but they're almost always processed with seed oils, artificial flavorings, added sugars, or MSG derivatives. Every one of those ingredients creates low-grade systemic inflammation, which directly impairs your insulin sensitivity, testosterone regulation, and gut-brain axis. Even dry roasted versions often contain additives, preservatives, and are exposed to high heat processing that damages the fats, making them pro-inflammatory instead of protective. The impact of eating these types of nuts every day, even just a handful, adds up. You might notice more stiffness, slower recovery from exercise, duller mood, more frequent indigestion, or increasing belly fat. These aren't just signs of aging. They're signs of the wrong foods sending the wrong signals. So what do? You replace them smartly. You eat nuts that stabilize hormones, support metabolic resilience, and deliver clean, bioavailable nutrition without inflammation. And that's what I'll show you next. The 4 nuts every senior should be eating weekly to protect their heart, brain, and hormones as they age. Once you clear out the inflammation-driving, hormone-disrupting nuts, you make room for a powerful handful of nature's true protectors. Nuts that nourish the aging brain, stabilize blood sugar, support hormonal health, and reduce oxidative stress with every bite. These aren't just snacks. These are targeted nutritional tools, and when consumed consistently, they support longevity, energy, and vitality, especially after 60. 1. Walnuts, the brain and blood vessel protector. Walnuts are a standout in the nut family because they contain a rare plant-based omega-3 alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. This fatty acid is a precursor to EPA and DHA, the same omega-3s found in fish that are known to lower inflammation, improve cognition, and support cardiovascular health. In aging adults, omega-3s help preserve vascular elasticity, preventing the stiffening of arteries that leads to high blood pressure and stroke. Walnuts also contain ellagitannins, polyphenols that feed gut bacteria and promote anti-inflammatory compounds like urolithin A, which supports mitochondrial function and muscle preservation, both critical in combating age sarcopenia. Eat them raw, or better yet, soak them overnight and dry them. This enhances digestibility and activates enzymes that unlock more nutrients. 2. Brazil nuts, hormone and thyroid support in one nut. If there's a single nutrient most seniors are quietly deficient in, it's selenium, and Brazil nuts are the richest natural source on earth. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day delivers the full daily value of selenium, which supports thyroid hormone conversion, testosterone production, immune defense, and detoxification. Selenium also plays a key role in supporting glutathione, the body's master antioxidant. Glutathione defends your cells from oxidative stress, supports the liver in clearing estrogen and toxins, and maintains cellular repair processes that slow aging. The key is moderation. Brazil nuts are potent, 1 to 2 per day is plenty, and always choose raw, organic varieties to avoid chemical residues that could counteract their benefits. 3. Macadamia nuts, heart-safe, hormone-friendly fats. Unlike other nuts that are higher in omega-6s, macadamia nuts are rich in monounsaturated fats, the same type found in olives and avocados. These fats support HDL, good cholesterol, lower LDL oxidation, and are metabolically neutral, meaning they don't spike insulin or promote inflammation. Macadamias are also extremely low in anti-nutrients, making them easy to digest, and their buttery texture means they don't need to be roasted or processed to taste good. A few macadamias a day can offer clean, stable energy while keeping your inflammatory markers low and your lipid profile optimized. 4. Almonds, raw and sprouted, magnesium rich, metabolism supportive. Almonds can be a health food or a hormone blocker depending on how they're prepared. Raw or sprouted almonds are rich in magnesium, vitamin E, and prebiotic fiber, but when roasted in oils or flavored, they become a problem. The trick is choosing truly raw, organic almonds or sprouting them at home to deactivate their phytates and improve nutrient absorption. Magnesium is crucial for over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, from nerve transmission and sleep cycles to testosterone regulation and insulin sensitivity. For older adults, magnesium also reduces muscle cramps, promotes relaxation, and supports bone integrity. A small handful of sprouted almonds mid-morning or mid-afternoon is one of the smartest things you can do to stabilize your blood sugar and keep cortisol from spiking, which is key for maintaining lean mass and cognitive clarity. These 4 nuts aren't just safe for aging, they're strategically supportive. They send biochemical messages to your metabolism, brain, immune system, and hormonal pathways that say repair, stabilize, grow, protect. Coming up, I'll show you how to combine and time your nut consumption to maximize absorption, reduce inflammation, and turn your snack habits into a daily longevity ritual. Knowing which nuts to eat is just the first step. The true power lies in how and when you eat them. Because after 60, every bite becomes a signal, and those signals need to be timed and combined with intention to create hormonal harmony, metabolic stability, and long term resilience. Let's begin with timing. One of the biggest mistakes people make with nuts is grazing on them all day, a handful here, another there. While it may seem harmless, constant snacking, even on healthy fats, can lead to frequent insulin stimulation, which works against your body's natural rhythms. The better strategy is to consume nuts during structured meals or strategic snack windows, ideally mid morning or mid afternoon, when cortisol tends to dip and energy often fades. Pairing nuts with the right foods amplifies their benefits. For example, combine walnuts with a few blueberries for a double dose of brain boosting polyphenols. Mix sprouted almonds with a few pumpkin seeds and a piece of dark chocolate to support magnesium, zinc, and nitric oxide levels, all critical for cardiovascular and hormone health. Keep your servings moderate and purposeful, around 10-15 almonds, 6-8 macadamia nuts, a single Brazil nut, or a small handful of walnuts. More is not always better. At this stage of life, you're not eating for bulk, you're eating for cellular precision. Also, rotate your nuts. Each type offers a different spectrum of nutrients and anti-inflammatory compounds. By rotating throughout the week, you minimize the risk of developing sensitivities and give your body a richer array of micronutrients and plant compounds. Storage matters. Nuts are rich in unsaturated fats, which means you're prone to oxidation if exposed to light, heat, or oxygen. Store them in airtight containers in the refrigerator or freezer for longer shelf life. Rancid nuts are not only useless, they're harmful, introducing lipid peroxides into the body that damage DNA and cell membrane. Preparation is equally important. Whenever possible, choose raw or dry roasted nuts. Avoid anything roasted in vegetable oils, especially soybean, canola, or cottonseed oil, as these introduce pro-omega-6, omega-6s that undo the very benefits you're after. And if you can find sprouted or soak and dry them yourself, you'll reduce anti-nutrients like phytates and unlock enzymes that boost bioavailability of minerals like magnesium, zinc, and calcium. Be cautious with nut butters. Many commercial versions contain added sugars, palm oils, emulsifiers, and even hydrogenated fats. Choose simple, single ingredient versions, for example, 100% almonds or only macadamia nuts. Stirring the oil back in may take effort, but you're preserving the integrity of the food as nature intended. If weight management is a concern, use nuts not as grazing tools, but as meal enhancers. Add them to salads for crunch, to smoothies for texture and satiety, or alongside fiber-rich snacks like sliced cucumber, celery, or apple. This slows digestion and prevents energy crashes later in the day. And lastly, listen to your body. After eating certain nuts, do you feel energized or bloated? Focused or foggy? Light or heavy? Your body is always giving you feedback, and when you pay attention, you fine-tune your diet with surgical precision. The goal is not perfection. The goal is daily nourishment that speaks your body's language, quietly repairing, balancing, and strengthening from the inside out. In the final section, we'll bring all this together and help you design a longevity guide daily ritual, simple, sustainable, and grounded in nutritional science. This is not about fearing food. It's about